welcome to my channel again. So in this tutorial, we'll be showing you how I designed this beautiful calendar for 2023 for a particular client of mine. We'll start by looking at every detail how I did it from start to finish. Now I actually did it for 12 months. This is the cover page of the calendar you're looking at, and if you go over to the next page, you see if I zoom in, you see January, February. So I did it. I did 2 months per page, right? So let's see how I did this. I'm designing this to be taken to the press, so it has to be printed. So like before, I want to be sure that my color scheme here is in the CMYK. So first, I'll head over to my menu bar and I'll go to tools here, tools. I'll go to color management. Now, supposing I was in the RGB, I'll switch it to CMYK. I'll switch to CMYK and I'll say okay. Now, first, I want to be in the CMYK color mode when I'm designing. Now, next, let me copy this thing away. I'm going to scatter everything and we'll start afresh. I'll delete all of this, the guidelines that I put there. Right, now I'm ready. And this is what I want to replicate, what I've done already. Okay, now, first, the size is A2. That's a size for a calendar. So I want to head over to this part here. I'll click on this drop down and I'll switch this up to A2. And this is the size I should be working with. Now, but you have to note something. You have to note this. If I'm designing a 12-page calendar, I'm designing a 7-page calendar. Sorry, I'm designing a 7-page calendar. Now, if I make the size the original size of A2, and I design and I make, let's say I make 12 pages, I make 7 pages. Sorry, I make 7 pages of A2. It's going to make my work very heavy, and it will slow down my productivity. So I want to optimize speed, and so in that case, I have to work in a reduced size, but the same proportion. For example, this is what I mean. And this is this is A2, right? This is A2. Now, I won't like my design to be in A2 because in that case, it will make my work to be very, very heavy. So I like to bring it down to like A4. Now, when I'm finished designing, when I get to the point of printing, I can now increase everything back to A2. For example, look at this thing that I designed here. Look at this work. I'm going to duplicate that, put that in the middle. Now, this work is in A4, but I can easily make it A2 because A4 is a proportion of the A2. So if I increase this, by the time it fills this page, it will be exactly A2 and nothing will be missing. You can see this. So I will only get to increase the size at the point of printing, at the point of separating the colors. That's when I have to increase the size. But when I'm designing, I'll leave the size to a smaller proportion of the original size. Now that being said, let's switch our size back to A4. Now we want to design a work in A2, but I'll work with A4. So when I'm done, I can now crank up the size to the A2 size. So first I'll go here, I'll switch it back. This is A2 now. I'll switch it down to A4 and I want to work in A4 size. So it will make my work to be my work will be faster. That's why I'm designing in A4. So good. Now first this my size is set. I'll go grab my rectangle tool and I'll click and drag to create this A4 size. Beautiful. I'll fill this up with white. Now, the next thing I want to do is, now I'm designing for print. Like before, what I need to do next is to set margin. I want to set margin such that if you look at this design here, you will notice that the text shouldn't cross a particular margin. You see this margin, you can see margin here as well. If you go down, you also see the margin between this, look at this from the pointing edge here to where you have the last font. The same thing goes here too. So I want to set that margin that will guide my entire design. First, what I'll do is to click and to create another small box, a rectangle, but this time I'll switch my units to centimeters and I'll size this in 1 by 1. That's the margin I always use when I'm designing in A2. 1 by 1. I'll fill that with any color that I want And with this selected, I hold down my shift and select this. I'll press L on my keyboard to align left and T on my keyboard to align to the top. And I'll zoom in and drag my guideline. I'll put my guideline here. Here we go. Right, right. The same thing here. I'm going to do that same thing here. With that selected, I hold down my shift and select this. B to align to the bottom, R to align to the right. So I'll zoom in again and I'll drag my guideline here. Beautiful. So I'll put another guideline here. At this point, I am done with this. I'll get this out. Now I can start designing. Can fill this up with any color. Let me use a gray color so I can take out the outline. And here we go. We are set to design. Now I'll start by first getting this different. You see these balls. You can see. Let me ungroup that. You can see these balls here. I'll start by this, creating this different kind of balloon-like effect. How I did that, I'll go grab my ellipse tool. I'll click that, and I'll click and drag, holding down my control to form this very nice cycle. And I'll drag the cycle and position it where I want it to be. I'll create another cycle here, just here. But this time I'll reduce that a little, can take that up a little more, somewhere here. Create another cycle here, just make it smaller, not as big as the others. Smaller, and make a final cycle here. Here we go. So what I'm doing is to duplicate this thing. As I click, I move. I click and drag. When I get to where I want to drop it, what I'll do is to right click to duplicate that. So right click it now. I'll get a duplicate of that, which is a little beautiful. This is what I wanted to create. Now I have this. Next, I'll go and grab, well, there's a tool in my toolbox called the Smart Fill. I'll grab this tool, and what the Smart Fill does is it fills an object within it fills the bounds within an object. So when I click this, it will fill this spot where this line intersects with this other one. Same thing with this. Just fill that for me. Fill this. No, undo that. I think that's too small. I want to pull this in a little more. I'm happy with this. And I want to pull this out a little. I think it's too in. Just pull that out a little. Something over here. All right, so I'll go grab the tool again and Smart Fill. I'll fill this and I'll fill this. Now I can delete the cycles. I'm done with them. I can take them out. I don't need them anymore. All right, so next is to these colors that I used here. Look at the colors I use. I think, okay, how I got these colors. How I got these colors. I downloaded a vector from freepik.com. So this is what I did. Right click. I already have the vector ready. You can go to freepik.com. You see lots of different vectors, and I have them saved in my on my computer, so I can just go where I kept the vectors and grab them. You can see vectors here, and this is the vector that I used. This I just import this. Now all I need here is these colors. The way I love the color gradient that is here. So I'm going to ungroup all of it and delete the text. Ungroup this as well. I'll delete the text. What I'm using is just the color. You can see I need this color gradient. That's what I used here. So I'm going to delete this and do that. I'm going to delete this. Right. So for this, I'll remove the outline. That's selected. I'll right click here and set color, nothing. And I need this color. I need this. Let's ungroup this. I need this color. So two ways I can do this. I can select this. I can select this. Head over to the edit, and I'll see select copy properties from. I'll go click on that, and I'll copy outline. outline pen, color and fill, and I'll get over here and grab this color. Boom, I have that color there. The same thing will goes for this. I'll take out the outline as well. Sorry, let me undo that. Same thing goes for this. I'll take out the outline. Same thing, I can go here and copy properties from outline pen, outline color and fill, and I'll go here. Boom, I have that color. Now, a faster way of doing that is, now I want I want this blue, right? I'll right click this and drag it here. When I get to the where I want to fill it, I'll leave it to give me this option and I'll say copy fill here. That's a faster way of doing it. And for this, I'll remove the outlines as well. And the same thing. For these, I use green here, I think, yeah. Just drag this here. When I get here, I'll leave it. And I'll give me this option, I'll say copy fill. Beautiful. And I'll just move this here. I'll just move this here, move it up a little more. Nice. And there we go. For this, just the same thing. This I'm right clicking. I'll right click and hold it, and I'll drag it here. When I get to this point, I'll leave it and I'll say copy fill here, and there we go. I have this color. Now for this, I'll go and grab my transparency with this one selected. I grab my transparency and I'll make this a little more transparent. Reason being, text will be on top of that. Gonna make it 85. Enter, and there we go. Let me see. This, this. Okay, I'll just make it pure cyan, and I'll go increase the make that 80. All right, I'll leave it there. Now I can make this white. Okay, so let me reduce this. Now this white is, that's 90. Okay, 85, 85 will be fine. 85. Right, so I'll leave it there. Now I have the frame set up. Next is the pictures that I use. Now I can delete all of this. I don't need them anymore. I'm done with them. Next is the pictures that I use. First, I'll go type the school name. You can see the school name. I'll just type the school name with my caps lock on. I'll just type the name of this school. And there we are. And I'll change the font to this font. And I'll crank that up a little. And I'll make that this blue that is here. I'll select this blue and right click and drag to this one. When I get here, I'll leave it and I'll say fill. Let it just fill its color for me. And I want to make it a uniform color. So what I'll do is to grab my color eyedropper tool and grab this color here, add to palette. The color will be added here for me. Now I can go select all of this and choose a scope. There we go, we have the color that I want. And I'll reduce that, I think it's too big. I'll just reduce it and I'll grab the school logo and I'll just bring it there. And here we go, we have school name is set, we have the school logo, and let's complete the name, International Group of Schools. So just grab my text tool and I'll start typing International Group of Schools. It's quite easy, and I'll use impacts. Now I'm using impact because impact is kind of tied to each other scope. So, and I want it big and visible. So, and I want the fonts to be closely knitted together. So I use impact. I'll crank this logo up a little more. Nice, and I'll just move this to the side using my arrow, my direction keys. Just move that a little more. I think it's too close. Just a little adjustment till I'm fine. Okay, and I think it's too big right now. Reduce this a little, something like this. I'm fine with something like this. Select everything and just reduce that a little and drop it there. Now the logo is ready. Next, I want to add the cycles that we have here. You can see there's a cycle here. It's nothing fancy, just go and grab your cycle and just hold my control and fill that with the cyan. remove the outline, grab my transparency tool and make it 20% transparent, not so much, just say 20, 30% transparency, okay. Something like that is fine. And I'll just add a little more, it's too big, and drop it there. Now, next thing I want to do is to add this cycles where I added the pictures. So I'll just go grab. But if I do that, there's a background. We can see there's a background here. There's a picture in the background. I'll duplicate this. See this picture in the background. I think I use. Let me extract the pictures. That's the picture that I used. Can delete this, and let's see what happened. Okay, that's the picture that I used. I already have this picture in my system, so you can use any picture that you want to, but this is a picture that I used for this project. And what I did here, because I wanted something to be in the background, I didn't want the background to be just white. So I imported this picture, then I go grab my transparency tool, and I'll make this a little transparent. As I made it, let's try 90, because I don't want to almost not there, 80. All right, let's go with 80 for the time being. 80, and with this picture selected, I'll go to object and power clip inside frame, put it here. And that's how I got that picture. It's like this one is even more, this one I'm doing now is a lot more visible than this one. Next, I need this cycle, so quite easy. Go grab my ellipse tool, hold on my control, and I'll click and drag to create my first cycle. And now that my cycle is created, I'll use the same color, the same fountain. I'll grab this color and just click and right click and drag it and leave it. I'll say fill this. There you go, it fills this for me. And I'll take out the outline, right click and set color of this. I'll bring this here too big. I'll reduce that a little, just a little, something like this. Right. Okay, so I like to do this outside before I take it inside. Now that I have this, next I'll select this, hold on, take my cursor. When I have this sharp edge arrow at the side, from the side, I hold on my shift and I click. I'll click and I'll get that double edge. You see that cross? Both of them have arrows. I hold on my shift and then I'll click, reduce that a little. I'll right click to duplicate that, and there you go. I'll make the one in the middle white. That's where I will put in the pictures in. All right, so I have this. I think it's too. Let me reduce it a little, just a little. There you go. Something like this is fine. All right, so I'll just click this a little more. Let's leave it like that. Then next, I want to create 3 concentric cycles. I'll bring this here, and I'll just duplicate this. Okay, they're on top of each other like this. And Control R to repeat the process. Centralize that, move that to the middle. What did I do? Yeah, that's what I did. Just move that to the middle. I can group them. Now select this, hold on my shift to select this, and C to centralize that. Beautiful, I have that done. Next, I can ungroup them now. Select the same, I want to do the same size, select 2 of them, and bring this down and just put it here. I can group these 2 as well. With the 2 selected, I hold on my shift and click on the first box, and I'll see on my keyboard to centralize all of that. Now I have my cycles ready. I want to pull them out so they can see the pictures very well. Just move that a little down. And same with this. This are the 2, just move it down. And next thing I want to do is to fill them with, look at the different colors here. This is beautiful, different colors, different color gradients. I want to repeat the same thing that I did there. All right, so here's what I'll do. For this is blue, this is going to be green, and this kind of purple, and you have light blue. So what I did is I'll select this color, the one there, the one inside. I'll just grab this one, for this one that is there, not that, the blue one. I'll make sure the blue is selected. I'll go down to edit and copy properties from, say, yeah, and I'll go and copy the green for this green. Same thing before for all of them. Edits, Go to edit, copy properties from here. I'll go and copy the purple. This is blue. This, I'll go and ungroup everything. Select this. Make sure make sure it's selected. Grab this. Nice. Selected now. Go to edit, copy properties from, and I'll grab the yellow. There we go. We have the color set. I'll move everything inside. I'll just move everything here. Beautiful. Now we have this is set now. All right. So our design is almost ready. Very simple, but it's beautiful. See how simple design is looking? But see how beautiful it's also looking. I'll select everything and I'll group them. I want it to be at the middle, at the center. Right, so now is at the center. I can reduce that a little bit. If I feel it's too big, I can just make some adjustments here and there. And there we go. Next, I'll go type all of this text you see in here. Well, I won't type this. I'll just group this. I'll just select all of this. It's quite easy. Sorry. I'll just select all of this. I've used this text before. Select all of this. Just bring them down here. And okay, but I'm going to type this because this is quite small. I'll type this. Just bring some adjustments. Right, so for this, what font I used, yeah, Century School Book. I just grab my text and type 2022, 2023, and go change the font to Century School Book. Just go down little. Century, that's the font I use. Century, I think I use a thicker. Okay, this bold Century School Book. I'll crank that up a little. And there we go. Bring the font in, drop it here. And next thing I did was to use my shape tool and I'll move that closer. I'll reduce the space between the text. Nice, and I crank that up a little more. And put that somewhere and do that. Just put that somewhere here. Then I want to type calendar down. Just go grab my text tool and I start typing calendar. Now I'll change the font style to Cookie, one of my favorite fonts, favorite script fonts, Cookie. That's this font. Change this font, Cookie, and I'll crank that up a little more, and I'll make it this. Just bring that down here, and here we go. We're almost done. It's too big. I'll use a little more and move that here. Did some adjustments. And I want it to be this color. So I'll go grab my color eyedropper tool and grab this color. The color will be selected up and add to palette to be added here for me. Next, I'll go select this font and boom. I'll put the outline the same font and the font's gonna come out really big. Here we go. Design is almost there. Now, what I want to do next is to get these pictures already in my system. I don't want to search for them anymore, but you can just use any picture you want. So I'll go grab the first picture, right click, I'll remove this, I'll extract this and just move the picture in, delete this. I'll move the picture inside this place here, this power clip inside, and do that. They are groups. I'll group everything first. So undo, okay, nice. This is okay, nice. I'll select the picture, but I'll right click it and drag it here. And when I get to this point where I want to power clip inside, I'll leave it. And I'll see power clip inside frame. Look at all these options, but I want to power clip it inside. Then I'll say power clip inside frame. Just do that. And here we go. I can do some adjustment. I can click on this, hold down my shift, my alt, and click again to select the picture inside. Then I can now start adjusting. Just some little more adjustments. Just adjust a little. Just a little more adjustment. And here we go. We are good. Same with this picture. I'll right click and get this out. extract this, load this part, make sure everything is ungrouped, and move this here, right click and drag. Here we go, and our clip inside frame. I'll zoom in here, hold down my Alt and click this. Just a little adjust. I can now adjust the picture. Right, I got that right now. Same with this picture, just to repeat the same process. I'm out of it now. Our front page is ready. Do a little more adjustment. Just grab this, duplicate that, drop it here, reduce that, and change the color to this. And I'll remove the what I put before, and there we go. We have this. Okay, for this I can just copy this and place that here. And our design is ready. The cover page is ready. See how fast I was able to create this beautiful, simple cover page calendar for the school. And in my next tutorial, I will show you how I was able to recreate this, and it's very simple. So I'll see you in the next tutorial.